One of the features that I love the most about Business Central is the ability to create what's called a saved view. So this is often something that I'll suggest for people to replace current reports or to make reports for things that they're looking up a lot or that they need. So within Business Central, on any of your list pages, if you find that you're adding the same filters all the time, you can just save those filters and be able to really quickly navigate to that information and have it sliced down in a really meaningful way right from the beginning. So again, we're in our Business Central environment. So if we go to example, the items page, so there may be, as an example, you're saying, I want to be able to see all the inventory that I have on hand. So what I can choose to do is I can leverage and open up my filters. So this is your filter icon. Here I've got quantity on hand because that was something that I had looked up earlier in the day. So let's say that I wanted my quantity on hand. So I want to say is greater than 0. So now my list page has already shortened a little bit here. Maybe I also want to see where I've got anything in the description that's like a chair. So I can use my special characters here. So these are wildcards. So essentially, if you've got a wildcard in the beginning, you're essentially saying there's going to be characters before the word chair. If you've got your wildcard at the end, you're indicating that you're going to have characters potentially after the word chair. So now I can see that I've got the list filtered down even more. I can continue to keep adding filters if I wanted. So for example, maybe I want a specific item category code, a specific vendor. I mean, the sky's the limit to just drill down into your information. And depending on how many parts you have and what your quantities are, that can be incredibly powerful. So again, if I'm doing any of these lookups in my list pages and I find that I'm doing it on a repeated basis, or if I think that being able to have this filter quickly at my fingertips would add value, I can go ahead up here and I can do a save as. I can name this whatever I want. Now I could choose if I want to view all of my items. Oops. There we go, all. So that just shows me all of my inventory items really wide open. Then I've got my chairs on hand. Maybe I look at this and I say, this is great. I want to keep this list, but I also want to be able to add and show where I've got anything with a specific type. And I'll just keep this as inventory. But then what I could do is I could do a save as. I can rename this. Now I've got my chairs. I've got chairs where the type equals inventory. I would have the ability to, like I said, be able to then just keep adding. I can also leverage existing lists. Maybe I realized, because I was new to BC, I'm like, oh, these lists are always the same. And all of our items are inventory. Gee, I didn't know that. I misunderstood that. So if you have a list page that all of a sudden doesn't really make sense anymore, you can click on your 3 dots here. You could go ahead. You can remove any of those save views that don't add value for you anymore. So again, you might have a list that you say, oh, this will be really great for the next couple weeks while we have inventory or while we're doing whatever, but you can just remove them when they no longer serve you. As you can see here, you would also have the ability to be able to rename. So if, say, for example, I wanted that to say something slightly different, I could always rename. I can always hide of my list as well. So I love the ability to be able to just create these little reports. A really common one would be potentially my purchase lines. I could, if I wanted to, filter my purchase lines list to show me everything where the expected receipt date was less than today. Now, every week, this is going to dynamically update with the data as it changes in my Business Central. And I could go ahead and I could send that off to, for example, my vendors and ask them to give me updated dates. So really, really cool feature.
Thanks for joining me and taking the time to watch. As always, my goal here is really just to bring some of those frequently asked questions and questions about Business Central to a broader audience in the community. If there's a feature video that you're looking to see or more questions about the feature that we just went over, please use my contact information to reach out. Again, I want to make sure that it's relevant. I want to make sure that it would hit a larger audience, and I'm really open to suggestions from you in the community.